Welcome to CIC. This is number 17, and let's title this Proof of Life. I'm here in my studio in Spain. It's in a little village by the sea, by the Mediterranean, and it's called Tossa de Mar. And it's in Catalonia. It's in the lower end of the Costa Brava. It's about an hour, 15 minutes north of Barcelona. And my wife and I bought this house about 26 years ago, and we spend our summers here in Spain. That's the short story, and I'll tell you the longer story in bits and pieces as time go on, but that should suffice for now. Proof of life, I'm saying that because CIC is designed to show my friends and would-be friends the things I see in New York. And this summer I'm here in Spain. And so things are going to have to adjust a bit. I don't want it to get too personal, but I will be getting down to, let me finish the thought. I'm not going to get too personal. This channel is not going to be about me. It never was my intention. But it's kind of inevitable since I'm here in my studio, and Barcelona is an hour and a half away, and it's kind of a huge it's a day trip. It's an hour and 15 minutes. We jump on the bus, get there, and come back at the end of the day. But it's a slog, and I will be doing it to see what's going on in the city, and I'll share that with you guys in the summer. But it's not like New York, where I can basically step out every week and see stuff and then record stuff and then send it to you guys. So it's going to be a little bit different. There'll be more of the life around here too. Anyway, a lot of those details will go to paid subscribers. I want to reward you guys with a little bit more information, and I'll be putting out another video shortly and throughout the summer. So we're pairing up and doubling up the work for the Substack, but I think it's worth it, and I think you guys might like to see a bit of life that we enjoy here in Spain. Okay, so my plan is to get into Barcelona next week. I'm not going to go too deep in the plan, but basically I'm going to see galleries and museums there, and I'm going to have to be pretty strategic about that. And I plan to do it a few more times this summer. So what am I going to see? Well, what about Barcelona? How do I describe the city? An art city is I think of it like a pyramid. There's this, what I regard as this huge base of artists and art schools, and a kind of upper part of this base would be this emerging galleries and the sort of scrappy ones that are putting shows together and making things happen. In the middle of this pyramid are the beginnings of institutions, established galleries, big reputations, worldwide footprint, as you go up that ladder. And then at the very crest or the top of this pyramid would be the institutions, museums and the like. And I'm telling you all this because Barcelona basically has no bottom to it. It's got major institutions, all of them fascinating to see. The MNAC, Museum of National Art Catalan History, which I'm very eager to see again. And also MACBA, their Contemporary Art Museum, analog to MoCA, or MoMA. And then there are major galleries which I want to see, which are only a handful of them there. And I've looked online, I've looked elsewhere. There really isn't much to speak of in terms of emergent galleries and stuff like that. So I'll get into more of that later. It's going to be interesting to document some of that stuff going forward. But that's not what this video is about today. I'm here in my studio. This is the second floor of our house. And it's a building that was built in 1706. It used to be a winery. and then a bar, a very famous bar around town locally called Marcelino, and where the fishermen would come and grill the sardines and drink wine. And then later on a restaurant. And then my wife and I bought the restaurant at the end of its life, and we made our home here. More details in the paid subscriber channel. Anyway, but one thing that has been occupying my mind lately is this Perseiti Substack on, it's very, I came across an article by Candace T. Seymour. It's entitled Why Paint? And loved it. I love the article. It was really, really great. Why do I say that? I generally like writers who aspire to make art in their own medium, about art in other mediums. That they put that kind of effort in. It's not taking pot shots. It's not slinging stuff around. It's not sloppy. It's writers that make an effort to make their own art. They're stringing their words together so that they sing. And on top of it all, Perseiti, which when I got into the details of, I dived into their website and their Substack and learned more. What I learned was that Perseiti was a creation, I think, this is my assertion from my web search, that Eric Bayless Hall, who teaches at several schools, Brooklyn College, City College of New York, basically he specializes, as far as I could tell, in Greek and Latin. And his writing was, I thought, was fascinating, and his creation of this Perseiti was very interesting. The cohort of people that he's marshaled around him for this project are fascinating writers, challenging, and a delight to read. Their critical stance is not just about the artworks themselves, but the context in which they live in, the larger art world, the systems, the institutions, the expectations, the schools, and what we've come to be conditioned to at this point, which is to prize the conceptuality of content over the artworks as standalone objects, as works that are independent and merit their own attention. And Candace T. Seymour really did a great job in Why Paint. It's hard to summarize, but you got to read it yourself. But let me read a snippet that I pulled from her piece, Why Paint, written in April 12th this year. The sense that art is impotent knows no medium-specific bounds. So, painters, forgive us when we use your medium as an exemplar of a pervasive impotence. It's an easy target because so close to mere luxury good and so often allowed by its maker to collapse into commodity. Know that it's not you, it's us, all of us, including you. If art is to remain vital, the gap between what is said about it and what it does in experience must be closed. This is not a problem of medium, but of form. Two terms too often confused, but we need some grounding in particular artworks before we can leap to this level of discussion. And so she goes on and deeper in the article. She closes in on this definition of form, which I urge you to read for yourselves, but basically is to contend with the work at hand, to not use it in some kind of careless, toss away, kind of taken for granted type of attitude, but to wrestle with it, to respond to the unfolding medium, to incorporate that, which is hopefully a happy struggle, into the work, so that it's not just some idea and execution, but it's less of an idea and more of an inspiration that drives you into this experience and medium, and wrestling with that and learning from that, incorporating that into the work. I'm butchering a lot of what she's saying. Is very eloquent, and she goes on. And I urge you again to read Why Paint by Candace T. Seymour. Reading into the catalog of Perseidi, I encountered a number of writers there, and this is a very young publication put out in, I think, December of last year. So it begins with Eric Bayless Hall's essay Perception and the Essay of Criticism. Excellent read. And it goes on to a bunch of other writers. One of them, Arnold Klein, formidable writer who went on rather maybe self-indulgently, but he went into Shakespeare and I found it challenging, and it's the kind of essay you pack a sack lunch with, because you're going to have to be with it a while. But it's not because you have to, but because you're compelled to, which makes good writing. But the one writer there that was most harmonic with Candace Seymour, which is Matthew Harriot, who wrote another essay titled Temporal Formalism. And again, allow me to read from my notes here, because I did a snip so you guys can get a sense of it, but I urge you to read the essay. Another essay that is quite harmonic with what Candace T. Seymour wrote in Why Paint. They're good companion pieces, and even though they're not covering the same territory, but they're two perspectives on the same target, and both those essays are quite interesting. So I'm quoting now. Attempts to resist classification through rupture no longer work. The most fundamental ways to break painting already occurred decades ago, such that any new rupture today is immediately recognized as a reference to prior ones. Unable to escape historical references through disruption, artists instead rely on the language of radicality in press releases and artist statements, even when it is disconnected from what is visually evident in the work itself. As a result, disruption is invoked conceptually, but no longer registers at the level of perception. Excellent piece. Hell of a lot more in there. It's not dense in the way that Arnold Klein writes, but it is a meaty treat. And again, get into it. I like it a lot to think about, and the kind of thinking that I think we need in this art world today, which in other mediums, many times in my blog and a few times in Substack, I've referenced to the fact that we're living in a peculiar state of lassitude in the art world, and it's writers like this and thinkers like this that I think have the tools and the perspectives that are necessary to pull us out of this. So a big shout out to these guys. This is somewhat related to what I was, my references to going to Barcelona and my sense of the art world in Spain and Europe, possibly, from what I've heard of reports elsewhere. Some of the cities I've been to and the institutions I've seen. This tendency that we live in this sort of late conceptual era where ideas matter more than form, as Candace wrote about, Candace Seymour, capital F form, the kind of form that where you must be enveloped and you must be changed in the making of art as an artist. I think the art world, the institutional level of the art world, what's considered sophisticated, has been well head over heels in this direction. And I think it hurts the art world here in Europe, from what I've seen in Spain, certainly from what I see in Barcelona. And it would be nice to see a day when the art world here, and I think I see the beginnings of it in New York, especially if Perseiti is an indication of what might be over the horizon. But from what I've encountered so far, what I've seen in other past years in the art galleries, art institutions, and even attitudes among younger artists and stuff like this, where the positions they take are much more important than the art that they're making. The press release, as so often invoked in these pieces, Why Paint and Temporal Formalism in Perseiti, their object of critique. I think the art world here in Barcelona, at least, and I think it's spread throughout Europe, is just institutionally led into this sort of dead end that we're at right now. And I know that artists, the artists that believe in real art in the sense of that are not captive to the icy abstractions and the political bandwagons of what I think of now as sort of this sort of advanced stage of conceptual art, where, I'm tempted to go into my big theories, but I'm not going to do it right now. I think I've said enough. I want to connect from what I'm reading here in Perseiti with what I have seen of art in the art world in Barcelona, and I think I extend to the rest of Europe. And I think that thinkers like Eric Bayless Hall and the team at Perseiti and other magazines, I've seen references to Seishura and stuff like that. So, yeah, just want to make that connection. So, as a sign off, it's 7 o'clock, the bells have gone off, and I'm going to give you a fast spin here out of my studio and down the stairs into the rest of the house. Down the stairs, second floor, first floor of the living room. Turn on the light. I just hung that painting a couple of days ago. This painting is from 2000. This painting went to Japan and back. Glad to have it back. Shot of the patio. And into the kitchen. Let's pop outside and give you a sense of the building overall. The entry. Oh, before we go outside, hey, check this out. Sculpture I made in the midst of COVID. And this is the street called St. Helm. Bells are ringing. 7 o'clock. And this is the house.
It was like, wow.
4 stories. Pie-shaped plan.
Yeah, that's a
Mika, come on.
I've dated, like, or like my ex was the same height as me as well. Oh no, I don't mind. I can do. I remember one of my
My little, oh, it's my little dog Mika. And she's going leash free. Mika. Mika. Mika, come here. Come. Mika, come. Come here. Come. Come closer. Closer. Come on. Ay, 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 ay. Let's go see the beach. Local bar, Bar Josep. And this is the Playa of Tosa de Mar, with the old sort of year 900 towers that were built to protect from the pirates. Let's head back. Back to my street. Let's go to the house. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, go, go. So there it is. Quick tour of the house. Shot of the beach. And back home to the figure of Job.